and empowering our own community based on values of Sikhi. So they do a lot of amazing work, seminars and trainings for young Sikhs and older Sikhs alike about Sikhi itself. So that's really the Sikh Research Institute's focus, and it's a very important focus that they have. Whereas SALDEF is more of a civil rights organization. They used to be a Media Watch organization. They're based in Washington, D.C. And they have a similar focus to us because we're also a civil rights organization, but they have that Washington, D.C. presence. And we have this, we have a different, exactly, and nationally. So there's SALDEF and there's a Sikh Coalition as well, which, we're going to talk a lot about what our focus is, and Tejpreet already told you about our 4 program areas. And I think the last organization you asked about was INSAF, and INSAF really has this focus on post-1984 justice and impunity with Punjab issues, which is largely an issue that we don't focus on at the Sikh Coalition, but an issue that we're very concerned about, and an issue that we really support their work. So those are I think the 4 kind of key Sikh organizations in the United States.
Well, I think we would add United Sikhs to that as well. And I would say United Sikhs' focus is a little broader than ours. They do work on civil rights issues, but they also work on public education, and they work also on humanitarian efforts. And so they have, I would say, a broader spectrum of projects and initiatives that they work on. And so there are 3 Sikh organizations that do touch on civil rights issues. And we are trying and striving to work more closely together so that, as Sandeep has said, it's good that there are lots of organizations doing this. This means that Sikh issues are going to have a larger voice. But we need to make sure we collaborate well together to take advantage of that collective voice.
I hope ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ question answer ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ। हाँ जी जरूर।
अच्छा, मेरा दूसरा क्वेश्चन है जी, मैं कैलिफोर्निया विच रहना हैगा।
हाँ जी।
तो मेरा क्वेश्चन हुन कैलिफोर्निया ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹੈਗਾ कि ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਲੀਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿਰੇ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਨ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ।
हाँ जी।
ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਟਸ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ, ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਇਜ਼ ਡਨ, ਐਂਡ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ, ਪੂਰੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਵੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਔਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੀਆਂ ਸੀ। But suddenly Schwarzenegger, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀਟੋ ਕਰਤਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ that was like a big setback.
Absolutely was.
ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਸਵਾਲ ਇਹ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਔਰ ਅੱਗੋਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰਿਵਾਈਵ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਜਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਗਲੀ ਪਲਾਨਿੰਗ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਕੋਲੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਓਰੀਜਨਲੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਨ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇਨ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ।
ਓਕੇ, ਸੋ now
ਕੀ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈ, ਅੱਗੋਂ ਕੀ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ?
Okay, us issue nu leke, are there any plans to redo that again, to present it again? And if you can talk about that on the air.
What I would say is we were very surprised, as the caller said, that the governor chose to veto the bill on a number of levels. We have gotten commitment from Representative Frutani, who sponsored the bill, that he would support the community raising it again. I think we need to think very strategically about why the bill was vetoed, and we're still investigating the behind the scenes aspects of that, because this governor will be in place 1 year from now as well, if we put the bill forward. But the bill, to make sure everyone's very clear, was an education bill to educate law enforcement about the Kirpan. And so we know that there's a need for this. There's a community will for it. We are not giving up the fight at all. We're regrouping to see what is the most strategic next step to work with Sangat members, to work with legislators, because it did have unanimous bipartisan support. And it was only the governor who vetoed it. So we have not given up the fight. We're just trying to make sure that our next approach is one that will lead us to the right victory.
I hope we've answered your question on that one too. Sat Sri Akal, aap kitho call kar rahe ho?
Hello, Sat Sri Akal Gurmeet ji.
Sat Sri Akal ji, aapda naam?
मैं गुरशरण बोल रही हूँ कैलिफोर्निया ਤੋਂ।
Sat Sri Akal Gurshरण from California. I think ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਾਂ।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल। First of all, I would like to congratulate them that they're doing such a great job.
Absolutely.
Yes. And actually, ਜਿਹੜਾ last caller ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ already veto ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ question ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ already answer ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। And also, I want to ask them one more thing. Is there a way they can open their office in like Sacramento area? That way we can help them too, because here we have like a really big Sikh community.
Okay, now before we answer that, I know, do you want to let everyone know where your current office in California is? Where is it in California?
Our office is in Fremont, California.
In Fremont, California. So people who are living in Fremont, of course, they all know that it is in Fremont, California. So I know there's a huge population in Sacramento as well. I don't know the dynamics and geographics, how far they are from each other, but
Just like 2.5 hours, I think.
Yeah.
oh, well, wait a minute. Let me ask you something, Gurshan, before you answer that one. Because I know Sikh Coalition, your office in Manhattan, and I live out east, so I know your office is pretty far from us also. So, you know what, first you answer it, then I'll give my views on it.
So what I would say is the Fremont office was opened as a Western region office.
Okay.
But we have an on-the-ground presence in the Bay Area community. And so it does reach much farther than Fremont. This question that the callers had comes up a lot, which is, can we have an on-the-ground presence in more communities throughout the U.S., whether it be another office in California, let's say Sacramento. We also hear about Los Angeles. There's Sangit members in Texas who are also very interested. Chicago, we hear from the southern part of the U.S. We want to grow very responsibly with our on-the-ground presence, and funding is always a challenge. And so we're trying to be very strategic about where we put offices for on-the-ground work, but the Fremont office does service the Western region and collaborate with the national office here in New York. So that if there are things that you would like addressed or you need support from the Sikh Coalition, you can very easily reach out to the office in Fremont. We do have ties to the Sangit in Sacramento. So we don't just take local issues, we take on regional issues and national issues.
Yes, I know that. And also, you know, thank you so much. You guys are doing such a great job. I have a 4-year-old son. He was not, you know, before Just Punjabi, he never watched like Punjabi show, and he always said, no, I don't like it. Now since this channel came and my son is learning all the Punjabi, and he's you know, Patka Banda, and he loves Harry's show, every show. Thank you so much, Gurmeet.
You're very, very welcome, and I'm glad we're bringing this out to you. Thank you, Gursharan.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You know what? Callers hold ran to pehla assi ek chota ja break lenne a, and then I also want to show them the clippings ki jehde events or programs andar or matters tusi handle kite hai, ude bare vi main chahavangi ki viewers nu pata